AITA I wouldn't let my cheating wife talk to our son on his birthday. I discovered that my wife of almost 11 years had been having an affair with a man she works with towards the end of April 2021, after I returned home from a business trip. The actress said that she didn't know why she did it, since she wasn't attracted to him and didn't have any feelings for him at all, and that she just did it to get attention for the show. I was able to forgive her very immediately since I really felt she was my soulmate and the love of my life. She told me 2 weeks after I found the affair that she had been falling out of love with me for a few months, but couldn't figure out why. She didn't think there was anything she could do to rekindle her feelings for me, so she filed for divorce from me. I lost 30 pounds over the next 3 months as a consequence of stress, sadness, and a lack of sleep, all of which contributed to my weight loss. The man with whom my wife had cheated on me resumed seeing my wife, and she quickly informed our 4 young children about their father's involvement with him. For the time being, I urged her not to speak about her boyfriend in front of our children since I didn't believe it was appropriate at this point in our divorce proceedings, and it was clear that my 10 and 11-year-old girls were uncomfortable with the situation. Recently, my wife tried to force our children to FaceTime with her new lover, and my oldest son got so frightened that he sought refuge beneath his bed covers. It was my recommendation that she avoid exposing the children to him for at least 4-6 months, so that she could enjoy her time with him while keeping the children out of the picture. Earlier this week, our youngest son celebrated his 6th birthday, and I cautiously asked if we might do so as a family, since it was my custodial night with the kids and I wanted to be respectful of their wishes. We'd agreed to meet up and keep things civil between us. After my wife timed my children while she was at her new boyfriend's house the night before the party, which made me sick to my stomach and made my children visibly uncomfortable. I texted her and told her I didn't think it was a good idea to get together for the party anymore because of how anxious I knew I would be around her, and because I didn't want to say or do anything in front of our children that I would later regret. The reason she was agitated was because she wanted to see our son on his birthday. I answered by saying, "Divorce sucks, and if you wanted to see and talk to our children on a daily basis, she shouldn't have cheated on me and requested to dissolve the marriage." As part of my communication with her, I said that I no longer wanted her to contact our children on their days with me since it was my court-appointed time and that my son's birthday occurred on my night, so I didn't want her to call him. The only time our child attempted to contact her was when I assured him that I would allow it, but he never did. Despite her attempts to consult with her attorney, he was unable to help her since her request was not legally improper, and there was nothing he could do to help her resolve the situation. In the aftermath of her acts, she was unable to communicate with or pay him a visit on his birthday. Is it feasible that AITA may be involved in this situation? Story 2. AITA for changing the names of my babies. My husband H, a 29-year-old man, and I, a 25-year-old woman, are now in the process of adopting 2 gorgeous young twins who are due to be born in January. Female 15, who does not want to keep the children with her. The biological mother is a young teenage girl G, female 15. It turns out she is the daughter of a friend, and when news got out that we were looking to adopt, her family got in touch with us as soon as they learned G was expecting. Despite the fact that she has expressed a desire not to be a mother, we have been with her during her pregnancy, and she will be able to visit the twins anytime she wants since we reside in the same city. The names Ellie and Evan were chosen after much deliberation when we learned that the babies were twins, 1 girl and 1 boy. We began looking for names as soon as we learned that the babies were to be twins, but it wasn't until last week that we discovered that G had chosen her own names, Walter and Agnes. Not because they were linked to her, but because they had a great-sounding name, she decided on them. I don't think it's necessary to point out how dated the names are or that H and I don't like for them. Our children are still our children, regardless of how great their names are. We will provide them with education. G expressed her disinterest in paying them a visit, although she will probably change her mind. We are firm in our determination to identify them. They will also adopt our surname and be legally recognized as our children, as was previously discussed and agreed upon 5 months ago, according to the agreement. G's family is upset with us because we have refused to accept their REL names, and they have threatened to find new parents. Her sisters said that they are only bluffing and expecting us to fold our arms in defeat. Edit. We are thinking of naming the baby Ellie Agnes, but we will not name him Evan Walter. We are now searching for a lawyer and have everything in writing. They will become our legal children with no legal link to G, her family, or their biological father, and visitations will be permitted only when H and I agree, which we intend to do at all times. We spoke with G's sister, who informed us that G asked her parents not to seek for other couples because she wants us to be the parents of her children. She's been telling them that for a few days now. I'm not sure why G's sister didn't tell us previously. Ellie's full name will be Alina in honor of H's late sister, but we will refer to her as Ellie. I will not be responding to any more comments. Thank you everybody for your suggestions. Update. My husband and I sat down with G and chatted to her for quite some time. We apologized to her and told her that if we wanted an open adoption, we all had to work together. She informed us, as many Redditors, and we assumed that it wasn't her idea to promote the name. She supposedly picked the names as a way to say farewell to what may have been, wrote them down in her journal, and her mother discovered it. We spoke to her about the ramifications of adoption for a time and asked if that's truly what she wanted, and she agreed. She's not in the appropriate position to have a kid, much alone too, and raising them would be detrimental to everyone. She said that she does not want to be a mother, but believes that it is important for the twins to be acquainted with her, and she will pay them visits on occasion, maybe once every 2 weeks or more often. G want to be addressed to the twins as Yimo, lit, means aunt, but is also a title used to refer to any girl 1 or 2 generations above you. We reviewed our options and decided that her family's presence in the twins' lives was detrimental to their growth. The first post-major argument was the name problem. H and I agreed that we were being careless and inadvertently injuring the twins. Many adoptees have expressed their appreciation for the names given to them by their biological parents in the comments section. We felt it would be better to name them jointly since we will be their parents, but G will still have an important role in their life. We've settled on the names Alice Alina because it's charming and elegant, and Alina to remember H's late sister, and Finn Alexander. Finn chosen by G because of a Star Wars character, Alexander because it was on both our top 5 names lists. Their Korean names will be determined by a naming expert after their birth, and we 3 will once again pick the names together. We 3 sat down with G's parents. After our initial chat about her wish to adopt and discussed our limits, they see the newborns as a disgrace and would rather die than accept them as our own blood. Therefore, they will not be a part of their life. They fought briefly before agreeing that it was for the best. They can meet them when they are old enough to decide if they want to, but we don't believe they would be a positive influence at the moment. For those who inquired about the biological father, he knows the ramifications of adoption and is okay with it. He doesn't want the twins to know who he is, and he doesn't want us to tell them who he is. Finally, to the journalist who copied and pasted my narrative into her website, I don't mind if you share my tale, but please ask or inform me first. If you wish to take this tale, please contact me first. Edit. To everyone who tells me that name experts don't exist and that I'm thus lying, I'm part Korean, my husband is Korean, and the twins will grow up in Korea. As a result, we're following the Korean practice of going to someone known as a naming expert, who selects a list of roughly 20 names. It has to deal with astrology, shamanism, name mixing, and a variety of other topics. It's a thing in many Asian nations, at least in Korea and Japan, and as other Redditors have noted, also in India and China.